We're broadcasting from NRB, the National Religious Broadcasters Convention. During our time here, we'll be talking with special guests on a variety of topics, especially as they relate to Israel, the current situation there, and the work of the fellowship. Today, I have the honor of welcoming Efrat Meir-Groman to the podcast. Efrat is part of the Israeli delegation here at NRB, sponsored by the Israel Ministry of Tourism. She was recently appointed Director of Incoming Tourism at Neot Kedumim Park, a 625-acre reserve that recreates the landscape and life of Bible times. Before joining Neot Kedumim, Efrat was director of the Israeli Government Tourism Office in Paris, the director of professional training of Israeli tour guides, and most recently, the director of European marketing for the Israeli Ministry of Tourism. Efrat, welcome.
Hi, thank you so much.
Thank you for coming. From what I understand, Neot Kedumim is a photo album of the Bible era. It replicates the setting of the Bible. Can you tell us more about that?
Yeah, so Neot Kedumim is a unique biblical reserve in Israel that brings the stories of the Bible to life through its natural landscape and agricultural installations. So it's actually taking the text of the Bible and put it in its context. Because today most of us are not farmers. We're not that connected to nature anymore. And many of the stories and the parables of the prophets and Jesus were based on the nature of the land of Israel at this time. And what happened in Neot Kedumim, like you said, it's 600 acres in the center of Israel, which is huge in Israeli terms. Yeah. It's like a small city, let's say, in Israel. And this land was really dedicated for that and was given to us by Ben-Gurion, the first prime minister of the state of Israel, exactly 60 years ago. This year we are having our 60th anniversary.
Oh, wow. So in 62?
Exactly.
Or 64?
Exactly. Yes, and because Ben-Gurion was very attached to the Bible, he was holding a Tanakh club in his residence, so he was very interested by this, and he wanted a place that could really put the text in its context. Now, I would like to say a few words about the name Neot Kedumim, which is not that easy to pronounce.
Yeah, I was just about to ask. Could you explain to us what that means?
So, Neot actually in Hebrew means an oasis, a beautiful place. Mm-hmm. And Kedumim, in Hebrew, we make roots and then words. The words come from roots. So, the root of Kedumim is Kedem, which means ancient, of course, because with a biblical landscape reserve, but the same root also serves for another word in English, in Hebrew, kidma, which means moving forward. The same word, we use it for talking about the past, but also about the future. So this is a great connection that we also do. What we propose in our park is a large variety of tours and activities for families, group, whatever. That can fit all kinds of groups.
So if I was a visitor to the park, what should I expect to see or do or experience?
Exactly. So if you will take our classical inspirational tour, what you will see all the nature, of course, the trees, flowers, and everything, but also the agricultural installation, like I was saying. For example, water cistern, wine presses, olive presses, threshing floors, and all kinds. I want to give a small example regarding the water cistern. Like, water is something that is rare in Israel, and it's not very often that we have rain. The wet season is only 3 months a year, and all the rest of the year there will not be even one drop of water. So this is a tough situation. And in the land of Israel, in the time of the Bible, people were relying on rain, and they were praying and hoping, of course, for rain, but not all the time, in its due season. This is what was important.
I remember when I was in Israel at Masada, they had the big cisterns that Herod used to collect all the water during the rainy season.
This is exactly the same idea. We have those water cisterns in Neot Kedumim. We found 45 water cisterns, and when you are there, you can imagine and just understand the life that people were living in this time. And I want to quote from Deuteronomy 11:13-14. and it shall come to pass, and it shall hearken carefully to my commandments, which I command you this day, to love the Lord your God and to serve him with all your heart, that I will give you the rain of your land in its due season, because having the rain on time is so important. So what we found in Neot Kedumim is that there was a total of about 500 people living in this area where Neot Kedumim is, and I said already that we have 45 cisterns. So the calculation means that a person will use about 4 gallons of water per day per person. Now today an average American person will use around 100 to 170 gallons of water per day per person. So this is why the water was so important. Of course they were using it for their life. So when you are in Neot Kedumim, you can really take the Bible that you know already, but then you put another context that you weren't really aware of, because we're not, as I said, farmers. We don't know the land of Israel that good.
What about wildlife? Do you have wildlife that people can see there? Animals?
Animals, yeah. So we have an activity of sheep herding that is possible on site. So you will lead a group of sheep and goats.
Oh, wow.
And this is very interesting because it also has to do with our ancestors in the Bible who were shepherds, of course.
Yeah.
The most
like
well-known.
King David.
Exactly, King David, Moses, Abraham, Jacob, 12 tribes. Many of them were shepherds, and Jesus, of course, has also many quotes of him as a shepherd. So the importance is to really understand what is it about the shepherd. Why a shepherd? Because today, nowadays, when we think about a shepherd, this is not maybe the leader we are thinking of.
Yeah.
But in ancient time, it was completely different. When you lead a sheep and goat, you cannot forget anyone behind. I've done it. It's not that easy at all.
Well, and it's funny, we throw around these words, shepherd, sheep, things that we know from the Bible, but we don't really understand the reality of it and how it was carried out during Bible times.
Yes, and what were the qualities of a good shepherd that enable him after that to become a real leader of the nation. It's not something that easy to understand. And you can take all those insights into your personal or professional life and really understand more about leadership and about all those kind of things. So I think in Neot Kedumim, you really can find yourself whether you're interested in personal things or professional, or just to understand and connect more to the spiritual aspect of the Bible that you already know.
Okay, so you've been working in tourism for quite a while. What brought you to
Neot Kedumim?
Yeah.
Well, I fell in love with this place, and I think it's sad that not a lot of people all around the world know about it. So I'm really happy to represent them here today.
Yeah, we're educating. We're building bridges.
Exactly.
So when I was doing my research before I spoke with you, I saw that you do biblical cooking workshops.
We have a researcher in our team, Dr. Tova Dickstein, and she's specialized in biblical food. She's done a lot of research regarding biblical food. Now, it's very interesting because many of the ingredients we know today didn't exist in this time, of course. Coffee, tea, sugar, people were not using it, okay? Many of the vegetables that we know actually came from America, so they didn't exist at that time. So the food was very basic, okay? And it was based on grain, bread, and then wine, and then oil, olive oil, obviously. So those three things were the basic of all meal, every meal. Mm-hmm. And this is something also that is special about the land of Israel, because all those three can be found also at Neot Kedumim. Now, in every Jewish Shabbat table on Friday evening, you will have those three components, because you will have the bread, the challah bread, and then the wine of the blessing, and then the oil with the candles. In ancient times, candles were made out of oil. So in every Shabbat table, people all around the world just have a small part of the land of Israel on their table. This is something very, very unique, because it connects again the people to the land. of Israel. So this is also something that we can see. Now, the experience at Neot Kedumim, you have cooking classes, and there are many recipes also. But the thing is that you will always have an experience of your five senses. It's not like just listening to a guide, okay? Mm-hmm. It's if you are just walking there with your guide, he will tell you can pick up a fruit from the tree. You can pick up medical herbs that you find on the way. You can understand more, like I was saying, so you can also taste and feel and touch. And this is why it's so special. Today we need experience that are more hands-on. We cannot just sit and listen anymore.
That's really bringing the Bible to life.
Exactly.
And bringing Israel to life.
Yeah.
Not just a place we might visit. It's real.
It's really feeling immersing into this world of ancient times. This is really this. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's really it.
So since October 7th,
Yeah.
how has that affected?
Well, of course, like everyone, it affected us. Of course, we don't see a lot of tourists. Some tourists are still arriving. We have some solidarity groups that are also passing through Neot Kedumim, but we're actually waiting and looking forward to have all the tourists back very, very soon, hopefully.
Okay.
Yeah.
And is there a message you'd like to give to Christians here in America about Israel? What they can do to best support Israel?
Well, I would say to program their next visit to Israel. They can already do it. And even if it's not now, if in 2 or 3 months, really to program and to come and support us, it's very highly appreciated for the people of Israel to see that people are planning to come back.
Okay, well, you've sold me on Neot Kedumim. Yeah, I'm excited to check it out and eat the food
Thank you.
and see everything.
Thank you.
Thank you, Efrat, for visiting today.